It's a fairly odd thing, I suppose, to feel a sense of loss for somebody that you've never met, that you've never engaged with, that from their perspective doesn't know you exist. I guess that's something unique to our modern times. But like many people, I find myself today feeling a sense of loss for Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm sure there are a number of reasons for different people. For me specifically, personally, it's because now being a believer, Charlie's voice was one of the very first that led me in the direction of first reading the gospel. So, for a little bit of context, I come from an Orthodox Jewish background, and at some point, a few years ago, I stopped keeping Jewish traditions, customs, laws, and so on. It wasn't all at once, it was sort of a gradual process. But in there, I started listening for the very first time to political shows. I wasn't particularly interested before that, but I started listening to political podcasts and shows and things like that. One of those, very first ones being Charlie Kirk. And what struck me as fascinating right from the get-go is that even though it's a political show, he was always talking about the Bible and God and biblical morality and ethics and Jesus and salvation and so on, always finding a way to bring it back to that, I guess, theological core for everything. Another one that I was listening to at the time was Michael Knowles. Very similar, always, kind of talking about the theological roots of everything, talking about the church and the Bible and God and Jesus and so on, always bringing things to its, the religious endpoint of every discussion. So that, those two and a few others were a few of the voices that really led me to first be intrigued enough to actually read the gospel and take that seriously and see what it's all about. And of course, it was a number of years before I became a believer, but that's where I'm at now. And so I find myself today, I found myself earlier today feeling a little bit of a sense of regret of not having said thank you, because now finding that to be the truth and him having led me in that direction from the start, I do feel like I ought to have said thank you. Now, you might think that's a bit naive because the chances that he ever would have seen the video had I made it are slim to none. But that being said, I still do feel a sense of regret of not saying thank you. And so, although Charlie won't ever see this video on the internet, I still do want to make the video saying thank you. And not only that, now understanding that what that feeling is, I do also want to thank the other individuals who had a massive part in leading me to where my faith is now. So again, of course, the first one being Charlie Kirk. I know he's not going to see this on the internet, but I do want to say thank you for that. Another one, as I mentioned, Michael Knowles. I do want to say thank you to you as well. If you ever do see this, I hope that you do. I want to thank you for that because your voice as well did lead me down this path to where I'm at now. Another one at the time, though not political per se, was Pastor Jeff Durbin from Apologia. I was watching his videos for other reasons, but again, being a pastor, I was constantly hearing about Jesus and the gospel, so that definitely was a major push as well in that direction. And then among them also, I came across, while starting to wonder about it, I came across the apologetics of Trent Horn, another major voice in pushing me in that direction. So I do want to take this opportunity and this moment. Again, I don't know if any of them will ever see this, but I do want to say thank you to all of you for the massive influence that you had on me in guiding me towards, again, first reading the New Testament. And though it was a very long journey of disbelief until very recently, now having come to faith and being a believer, it is very meaningful for me. All the voices that were a major influence in pushing me in this direction. So again, I don't want to ramble here too much anymore, but I just want to say thank you to all of you.